Hello, this is the first episode of the series How to Get Better at Chess at 400 ELO level. Now, I'm starting off by showing my games, and I'm going to emphasize on how important opening moves are and how, calculating all your opponent's possible moves can win you the game. Okay, so we're starting off with e4 after e5. You see this in many of your games. I played D3, which is basically Leonardo's variation. You don't see this at higher levels, like this is my intervention. You should try to play knight f3 or bishop c4 or knight c3, which is to Vienna. But d3, okay, knight c6. And now don't put your knights on h3 or a3, like that's not where you put them. Your opponent could chop them off and damage your structure, like that's why. And by the way, knights have only two squares to the opponent's side, but knight f3s have four squares, which is quite more flexible. But okay, after knight h3, the opponent goes bishop b4 check. And again, in the opening, you just don't want to give unnecessary checks. Then you calculate c3, then you have to go back and you will waste the tempo. That's the concept you have to learn from this. But okay, I played bishop d2, which is like fine. Knight f6. Now, this is not being addressed here. So I develop e2, I castle, he castles. All right. Now, another blunder. Like, you have to calculate your opponent's moves. Can you see the tension between the bishops? Because this is a free bishop. Like, your knight was guarding it. So when you play knight to d4, you have to look at your opponent's moves. Your opponent has like can look through all the pieces, all the legal moves of their pieces. So after knight d4, they can just look at, ooh, that's just a bishop. You just left it hanging. But I play this differently, and I take this way. Very embarrassing, indeed. Now after c6, by the way, c6 is not developing anything. Um, After c6, I play c3, which is kind of a fork, but there is a capture of bishop with check. But our opponent does something differently. It is actually a smart blunder because I take, he gives a check, and now he can win this pawn on b2. A note as well, do not pin your pieces like this. The knight is more passive on f2 than it was on h3. Like, it could have gone to g5, but you know what? King h1 is actually, you should move your king when you're in check here. You should not block with the rook or the knight. But anyway, now after knight f2, there is bishop takes b2, and now you have to admit that you're going to lose the rook. So you should move the knight to get this bishop after bishop takes. What you should not do here is completely hang the knight on the way out, because taking a knight here is better than a rook. It gets 3 points, while this gets 2 points. And that is a lot in chess. 1 point difference that determines a lot, actually, on the higher levels. After d5, that is a good move, activating the bishop. I play e5, which is kind of nice if you think about it. Where does the knight go after e5? It cannot go there, it cannot go there or there. It has to go back, which is good if you're suffocating your opponent's pieces. Now, I like what I do here, which is I take the queen, which is very passive here, to c1, and after e3 to g3. Very nice stuff here. After rook e8, I go queen e3, defending this pawn. Like, so good here. And our opponent here is not prepared because he just hangs the knight. I play so many good moves, but he hangs the knight. You have to look at the queen again, like where you can see this. This is not defended. This is not defended between these pawns. I don't see it though, so that's why maybe I lost this game. Knight to a6. Now here you should just start rotating your pieces around. For example, I play bishop g4. I think I like that move. It offers the exchange. If he takes, then I take. But he's a little bit smarter, so he doesn't even take. And now I go bishop g5, attacking the queen. And now he starts to counterplay on a5. I kind of like this, actually, because I could lose the knight here if I'm not careful. And now I play something that's pretty bad. I play e6 with the intention of taking. Um, because you should see that if he takes, you take, he takes, you take, he takes. Like you hang the queen. But actually, it is actually good that you played e6 because if he takes, you can play queen to e5. It is actually good because you've opened up the rook. You have opened up the rook, so you don't care about that pawn. You've also blocked in this bishop. That is really nice. But you know, 400s do what they do, and I hang the queen. I don't calculate well, so you just, yeah, that's the worst mistake that you can do. And for black as well, to give back the queen like this, like how do you not see that the knight is defending this? And alright, knight takes a2. And now here you should just start creating counter play like takes, takes, and knight c4, knight c3. Very good, forking these pawns. Now after a5, you should also notice that, can you take this pawn? Well, I would say no, because then the opponent plays knight to rook to d8 and just wins the bishop. And meanwhile, yes, you can play knight c7. Maybe he won't see that I'm attacking the rook. The rook could take, still take, and he's winning with two passed pawns. Like, you have to see that you cannot take on d5, that you have to take on d5. But okay, I take on d5, and he doesn't play rook to d8. So there is also threatening a fork on c7, which is getting better on the white side. But I play bishop b4, but he plays knight to a6. I move the knight and I hang the bishop, and that's quite GG. After knight takes b5, it's like very bad, but you know what? Even after you hang so many pieces here, you hang the fork, you hang the everything, black has 1 minute. And that may not be enough to win, even. Because look at this. Makes a queen, and he starts giving a ladder mate. He's thinking for too long. I could have done better at defending or moving quicker, but you know what? That almost was a draw for us. Or a win, because I have still 2 pawns. So a recap of what you need to know. You need to develop pieces, not to h3 or a3. And you need to block checks with pawns. And you should take advantage of your opponent blundering pieces. Definitely look at all your pieces of where they can move. Like, you never know. You could win something here. And also, yeah, don't block your checks with pieces, basically. Maybe you just play king h1. And don't, you have to look that you don't hang. You just don't hang them. Just don't. It can happen, but you know, take more time when you move. Like, uh, I did think for 50 seconds here, but yeah, you just need to look at this. e5, knight d7. Yeah, you have to look at your passive pieces and bring them over. Very good. You have to defend this with d4 or b3. Yeah, and also look at, again, just look at what your opponent has hung. Bishop g5. Just, I think I like this very much. I like my play very much this far. But just this got through to me. I don't know why. If you found this video helpful, then let me know. I'll make the next episode about my second game of 400 Elo. See ya.